Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna.
Jaya Madha. Go ahead, Shraddha.
Yeah, I was just going to say Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I saw you there. Yeah, I'm bringing up the Jaya Mata Madhava here.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopi Janda Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janda Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Brajajanandana Yashodanandana Jashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnu Pad Om Hamsa Privat Shishima Abhacharara Jai Jaya Om Vishnu Pad Om Hamsa Privat Acharya Shishima Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavini ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Jai Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali. And now we're at text number 18. Navayam klesha bijani yatasu purusharshabha purusham tam vijanimo vakya bheda vimohitaha. Navayam, not we, klesha bijani, the root cause of sufferings. Yataha, wherefrom, su, it so happens. Purusha Rishabha, O greatest of all human beings. Purusham, the person, tam, that, vijanima, no, vakya beda, difference of opinion, vakya beda, vimohita, bewildered by. Navayam klesha bijani yatasu purusharshaba purusham tam vijanimo vakya beda vimohita. O greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers. Dharma is speaking. In fact, I'm going to go back one verse to 17. This is Dharma, the bull, speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. And he says, the personality of religion says, that's Dharma, those words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty. Captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas, even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger. Purport, the assurances and challenges made by Maharaj Parikshit are never exaggerations of his real power. The Maharaj said that even the denizens of heaven could not escape his stringent government if they were violators of religious principles. He was not falsely proud, for a devotee of the Lord is equally as powerful as the Lord, or sometimes more powerful by his grace. And any promise made by a devotee, though it may be ordinarily very difficult to fulfill, is properly executed by the grace of the Lord. The Pandavas, by their unalloyed devotional service and full surrender unto the Lord, made it possible for the Lord to become a chariot driver and sometimes their letter messenger. Such duties executed by the Lord for his devotee are always very pleasing to the Lord, because the Lord wants to render service to his unalloyed devotee, whose life has no other engagement than to serve the Lord with full love and devotion. Maharaj Parikshit, grandson of Arjuna, the celebrated friendly servitor of the Lord, was a pure devotee of the Lord like his grandfather, and therefore the Lord was always with him, even from the time when he was helplessly lying in the womb of his mother and was attacked by the blazing Brahmastra, weapon of Ashwatthama. A devotee is always under the protection of the Lord, and therefore the assurance of protection by Maharaj Parikshit could never be without meaning. The personality of religion accepted this fact and thus thanked the king for his being true to his exalted position. And then the verse I read just a minute ago, again, the translation, O greatest among human beings. It is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers. So this is an answer to Parikshit Maharaj challenging whoever had caused injury to Dharma the bull, and is asking, who did this to you? So he's saying here that's Vakya Beda. There's so many different opinions of Vimohita, so I'm bewildered by these things. Purport. There are many theoretical philosophers in the world who put forward their own theories of cause and effect, especially about the cause of suffering and its effect on different living beings. Generally, there are 6 great philosophers: Kanada, the author of Vaisesika philosophy, Gautama, the author of logic, Patanjali, the author of mystic yoga, Kapila, the author of Sankhya philosophy, Jaimini, the author of Karma Mimamsa, and Vyasadeva, the author of Vedanta Darshan. Although the bull, or the personality of religion, and the cow, the personality of the earth, knew perfectly well that the personality of Kali was the direct cause of their sufferings, still, as devotees of the Lord, they knew well also that without the sanction of the Lord, no one could inflict trouble upon them. According to the Padma Purana, our present trouble is due to the fructifying of seedling sins. But even those seedling sins also gradually fade away by execution of devotional service. Thus, even if the devotees see the mischief mongers, they do not accuse them for the sufferings inflicted. They take it for granted that the mischief monger is made to act by some indirect cause, and therefore they tolerate the sufferings, thinking them to be God-given in small doses, for otherwise the sufferings should have been greater. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to get a statement of accusation against the direct mischief monger, but they declined to give it on the above mentioned grounds. Speculative philosophers, however, do not recognize the sanction of the Lord. They try to find out the cause of sufferings in their own way, as will be described in the following verses. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, such speculators are themselves bewildered, and thus they cannot know the ultimate cause of all causes is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mangalacharan 2. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Dadanastridam Dantaridam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padamboja Juli Syam Janma Janmani Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadvatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Shri Varshabhana Videvi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gorakishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambhode Padambhu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sakchirananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupa Nuga Varayate Gaura Virabhava Bhomestvam Nirdesha Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhoma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Suratau Pangor Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarva Swapadambo Jao Radha Madana Mohanao Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanastao Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devao Prishtali Bhi Sevya Manu Smarami Shriman Rasarasaram Hivam Shiva Tatatastita Karshan Venu Swanir Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Etin Thakur Godeyaki Karyachena Atmasat Etinera Charan Vandon Tine Morna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindayai Tulsi Devyai Priyayai Keshavasya Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Nishinga Jai Nishinga Prahalada Desha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhutanam Dharmasya Tadatmanam Srajamyaham Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Chadushkritam Dharma Samstapanartaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge Manmara Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mami Vaishyasi Yuktvavam Atmanam Matparayanaha Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja Ahang Twang Sarva Papebhyo Mukshayishami Ma Shuchaha Shru Shru Sho Shradhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nashevanat Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaksto Hyabadrani Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kamalobhada Yashchaye Chaitayatera Navitam Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evang Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantish Chijanti Sarva Samshaya Shiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Eva Manishvare Malihai Kareshe Bijaropan Shravana Kirtana Jale Kareshe Chan Tahan Vishtari Tahai Pale Prema Pal Ihan Mali Sheche Nitya Shravana Dijal Vairagya Vijanija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Budir Yastamaham Prapadye Kalan Nashtam Bhakti Yogam Nijam Ja Pradushkartam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nama Avirbhutas Tasya Padara Vinde Gadam Gadam Liyatam Chitrabinga Matsamo Nasti Papat Mana Paradi Chakashtana Parihare Pilajja Me Kimbruve Purushottama Yivatinam Yata Yuni Yunam Cha Yivatau Yata Mano Piramate Tadvam Mano Me Ramatam Twayi Bhumau Skalita Padanam Pumir Evam Balambanam Tvayijata paradhanam tvameva sharanam prabho. Govinda balabe radhe prarte tvamaham sada tvariyam iti janatu govindo mam tvaya saha. Radhe vrindavanadi she krananam ritavahani kripaya nijapadabja dasyam mayam pradiyatam. Nama Shrishtam Manamapi Shachiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramoho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasa Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tannatosmi. Hey Guru Gyanadadina Bando Swananda Data Korunaika Sindo Vrindavana Sinahita Avatar Prasida Radha Pranaya Pracharo. He Dinabando Karunaika Sindo Kuru Prasada Mayamanda Mudhe Laksha Parade Bahupapagade Tatpada Padme Stumatishcha Krishne Adadhana Studam Teridam Dache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padamboja Dulisyam Janma Janmani Vande Nanda Vardashrinam Padarinam Abhikshnasha Yasam Harigato Gitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam Ajanulambita Bujao Kanakavadato Samkirtanai Kapitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugatarma Palo Vande Jagapriyakaro Karunavataro Hantaya Madro Balari Dasavaryo Yadrama Krishna Chanarashvara Shakramodaha Manam Tanoti Sahago Garayostayo Yat Paniya Suyava Sakannana Kandamulai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Navayam Klesha Bijani Yatasu Purusharshaba Purusham Tam Bijani Mo Vakyabeda Vimohita. O greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers. So here, Prabhupada points out that there are many philosophies in the world, and this is true after any kind of event we've seen, at least in my lifetime, when there's some stress to the world, many people come out with their ideas about why such things are happening. I remember that during earthquakes, 9/11 and so forth, religious leaders and so forth were asked the question, why is there so much suffering in the world? And how is God involved and so forth? And oftentimes people become atheistic and they say there is no God, or they have no idea if there's God or not because of so many conflicting philosophies. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vita raga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashrita bahavo jnana tapaso, that he says that putamad bhavamagata, that there are many people who have become purified by the process of devotional service, by connecting to Krishna's instructions. And what do they become purified of? Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. The three things Krishna says we should become freed from, which are raga, attachment, which is irrational to the material nature, because we have nothing to do with the material nature. We're actually spiritual souls. Krishna points this out, saying in the second chapter of the Gita, Nasato vidite bhavo na bhavo vidite sata ubaryorapi drishton tastvanayos tattvadarshibhi, that the seers, tattvadarshibhi, of the truth, that which has actual substance, tat, that which actually exists, know that there's a difference between that which exists, the category of truth, and those things which are ephemeral. They're considered to be illusory. especially when they're not seen in relationship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because there are various energies in the Lord's creation, we being of the marginal potency, and we also being capable of living in the atmosphere of the material world or in the spiritual world, have to know these categories of energy in order to navigate them so that we don't become covered by the lower energies of the Lord. So those who are fortunate enough to come in contact with devotees and the philosophy of devotional service can elevate themselves in knowledge so that they become freed from the tendencies to try to unnaturally live in the material world and invest all their energy in it and think this is me. So raga has to be given up, this unnecessary attachment. Bhaya means fear of a personal existence. There's a way in which people become overwhelmed by the sense of suffering in the material world, and then they think about suicide, either giving up their present material body and mind, which causes them trouble at every minute, from adi klesha, adi daivik, adi bautic miseries, or they think of adopting a philosophy through which they can ignore their personal existence, and they subscribe to an idea that when one gives up the connection to desire and realizes that, or is able to step back from the workings of the mind, one will come to a point where one can extinguish one's very existence. In other words, there's a light switch that goes off or a candle flame that goes out, nirvana, in which one realizes, or not just, there's no one to realize, it just happens that there's nothing. These are nihilistic philosophies. And there's also, so these are all considered the kinds of suicide called atmaha. Asuryanamate loka andhena tamasavrita tamste prityabigashanti yeke chat mahano janaha. Those who are not getting isha kata, understanding one's relationship with Ishvara, and that we are also Purusha, which means we have our individual eternal personalities. Although right now I may be merged in matter, it doesn't mean that spiritual life means the opposite of variety and that I become a non-entity. So if one doesn't get this philosophy and starts thinking in terms of suicide by killing the self, atmaha, or by not taking advantage of real spiritual knowledge, one becomes atmaha and enters into the darker regions of the universe. So one has to give that up, Krishna says, and you can do that. How can you do that? Read Sri Upanishad. Any person on earth who takes the time, and it doesn't take much time, if you're riding the bus back and forth to work and you read the Sri Upanishad over a week or 2 weeks, your life will be changed. You'll have proper knowledge and orientation from one simple book. Only problem is people don't watch it or don't listen to it. They're listening to all kinds of other things. They're reading all types of other things, but they're not getting real knowledge. It's all there in Sri Upanishad. So then krodha. Krodha means anger. That people hear this vakya beda, all kinds of different theories given by so-called experts. This is the nature of the world because people are conditioned by different modes, and then they like to give their opinion. Most of the opinions given are like the braying of an ass. The donkey in the field does a braying, and then he's thinking, it's very beautiful. This braying sound it's so charming and people love it so much. But others are thinking, not so much. And so similarly, these so-called experts, even they have PhDs and they have all kinds of accolades connected to their names. They're not connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opinion is valuable only and above all others, because he's not connected to the three modes of material nature, and he's never bewildered because his body is not material. Therefore, he doesn't forget anything. He's omniscient, he's omnipotent, and therefore he's worth taking shelter of, and his instructions are infallible. Everybody else's instructions, unless they're following his, are fallible. And they when they're asserted based on the idea that I know something because of my intellect, are just like the braying of an ass. So people hear all this braying and then they feel that it hasn't helped me, or everyone has so many different opinions. There must be no opinion whatsoever. And therefore they become angry, and they express their anger by saying, nobody knows anything. It's all nonsense. So these three propensities, these three psychological propensities have to be given up, Krishna says. Vita raga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashrita bahavo jnana tapasa putamad bhavamagata. Puta, when you become purified, he says many people have become purified by taking the process of hearing from Krishna and to become rectified of these three psychological defects. And then they can become situated in real knowledge. So the cause of suffering, let's talk about that just for a minute. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that this you'll find in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, text number 14 and 15. So in text number 14, Nakartritam nakarmani lokasasrijati prabhu nakarma palasam yogam svabhavas tu pravartate. Krishna says the embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So the material nature is going on as if in a mechanical way. Krishna says, Prakrite kriya manani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. And the bewildered soul who's connected to that mechanical material nature thinks that I'm doing things. And actually, sometimes people blame God, but Krishna says, actually, I'm the indwelling spirit within the body. I'm giving instructions to the living entity, but I'm not creating the fruits of action. That's due to the interaction of the living entity with the material nature. And in text 15, he says, Nadate kashichit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhu agyanan avritam jnanam tena huyanti jantava. Agyanan avritam jnanam tena huyanti jantava. This means, as Krishna says, nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. So the living entities somehow or other are entangled with the material nature, and they're creating their own fruit of activities by being associated with the material nature and interacting with it. So now, before I go to any further explanation, we'll just take some reflections, whatever you've heard so far, or some questions.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, this is Shamalangi.
Hare Krishna, Shamalangi.
So, the verse which you read, it says, how we are bewildered by the different opinions of theoretical philosophers. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 2, text 1, I just remembered how the author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he prays that I offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even an ignorant child can swim across the ocean of conclusions about the ultimate truth, which is full of the crocodiles of various theories. So I always remember that crocodiles, like the various theories are like crocodiles.
Yeah, those are beautiful original verses written by Kaviraj Goswami at the beginning of every chapter. And thanks for pointing that out. He says, Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Balo Pi Yad Anugraha Charendana Mata Graha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram. Sri Chaitanya Prabhum, to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vande, I offer my obeisances. Bala, an ignorant child, Api, even, yet, of whom, Anugrahat, by the mercy, Taret, may cross over, Nana, various, Mata, of theories, Graha, the crocodiles, Vyapi, filled with Siddhanta, of conclusions, Sagaram, the ocean. I offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even an ignorant child can swim across the ocean of conclusive truth, which is full of the crocodiles of various theories. Purport: by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even an inexperienced boy with no educational culture can be saved from the ocean of nescience, which is full of various types of philosophical doctrines that are like dangerous aquatic animals. The philosophy of the Buddha, the argumentative presentations of the Jnanis, the yoga systems of Patanjali and Gautama, and the systems of philosophers like Kanada, Kapila, and Dattatreya are dangerous creatures in the ocean of nescience. By the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can have real understanding of the essence of knowledge by avoiding these sectarian views and accepting the lotus feet of Krishna as the ultimate goal of life. Let us all worship Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his gracious mercy to the conditioned souls. Thank you, Shamalangi. What other questions or reflections might you have?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
This is Saubhagya. Once in the class when in the temple when you are giving lecture.
Can you all hear her? You need to get a little closer to the mic, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Much better, yes. Thank you.
So when Harivamsha Prabhu came to the
I think your mic was knocked over. Well, she's getting that back together. Does anybody else have a reflection or a question?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, it's back to Alex from New York.
Oh, back to Alex from New York. Hare Krishna, good to hear your voice.
Thank you. I apologize. That was me who interrupted the purport reading. I thought the mic was off and I get a little excited there.
No problem at all.
Okay, so I was reading a wonderful purport from the 10th canto yesterday, chapter 14, text 26. And it reminded me of what we were speaking of about the braying of the donkey, and that to the materialist, it sounds very nice, but in reality, it's quite contrary. So the disciples Srila Prabhupada wrote, those submerged in illusion see material existence as infinite, just as one who is submerged in water sees only water all around him. For example, material scientists and philosophers submerged deep within the ocean of material illusion imagine that material nature extends infinitely in all directions. In fact, the material creation is a finite ocean of ignorance in which foolish living entities such as material scientists are unceremoniously dunked by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I was reflecting on that, thinking it was interesting how different the reality is from what material scientists, even supposedly learned people, think it is.
Yes, and such straightforward language is edifying, isn't it?
Yes, very awakening in a way.
Yeah, it's awakening, very commonsensical according to our experience. When we see how the world's working and we hear such things, it's very helpful in one's determination to continue with the process of bhakti. Shraddha, what I'm seeing when somebody's speaking is still the verse on the screen. Is that just me, or is it possible for those who are speaking to be, now I see myself, which is not a welcome sight, but like when Alex was speaking, I couldn't see him.
Yeah, Alex, can you speak up and see if you show up?
Say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay,
See what I mean? Okay, so another reflection or question? Avantika's ready to go. There's Alex. Okay, Avantika, go ahead. or Vaikuntha Nayaka, whoever was weighing in there.
Avantika, you can go first. I'll hold my thought.
Okay, perhaps it was a mistake. Go ahead, Vaikuntha Nayaka.
I didn't say anything, sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Sorry, I couldn't hear her.
VND, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you, Maharaja. Dandavat Pranam. Maharaja, Guru Maharaj, I was thinking that there are these different theories, and I believe the reason why these different theories are there are so that people at different levels can all actually progress one step closer to Krishna. That's what I heard in some lecture. I do not realize where, but also I feel that conversely, when there are so many theories, some apparently contradictory, some directly contradictory, we see how Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami is actually praying that he does not get bewildered by the different theories. And it reminds me, I think you once told us about this shopper's dilemma of paradox of choice, where there is so much choice given that the shopper feels that, okay, I might be doing something wrong, let me not do any shopping here at all, and he postpones it. So I was just thinking that though there are these positives and negatives, what might be the original reason why Krishna allowed for these many theories to actually propagate?
Thank you, Prabhu. Well, first of all, it's not just because there's many philosophies that they're all valid and leading to the same place. And I know that's not what you're saying, but I just want to take that off the table. There is a way in which Krishna mentions in the Bhagavatam, the 11th canto, when he's speaking to Sri Uddhava, there's the process of karma, there's a process of jnana, and there's a process of bhakti. And there he claims, yes, I've created these three paths according to the propensities of living beings. And those who are very much attached to the material world should take to jnana, should take to karma. They're suited for that path because that's where they'll feel comfortable and they'll be able to make gradual progress. Those in very much detached from the material world, they don't like it at all. And they want to renounce. They should take to the process of jnana. They're qualified. They have adhikari. And those who are neither too attached to the material world nor too detached from the material world, they should take to bhakti. So as far as creation of choice goes, Krishna does offer various paths that are bona fide that one can make progress on gradually until they come to the perfection of life. And then Krishna gives this hierarchy in the Sri Upadeshamrita, karme bhya parito hare priyatiya vyaktim yayur jnaninas tebyo jnani vibhukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata tebyasta pashupala pankajadrishastabhyo pisararika preshtas tadvadiyam tadiya sarasi tam nashayat kakriti. He describes there's this gradual progression. The karmis, they're dear to Krishna because they're following the path that is given in the Vedic literature, and gradually they'll become purified by karma. And then when one becomes a successful karmi, that is a karma yogi, then he comes up to the point of gyan. And Krishna says in the Gita, Bahunam Jamanam Ante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti. He becomes really intelligent and through the gyan process, and he comes to the point of understanding that Vasudeva is everything. And then out of all the Gyanis, then there are some that realize, oh, I should devote myself to Krishna, to become a devotee. And then the devotees that become perfect, they're even more dear. And then there are the ones who are spontaneously attracted to Krishna. And then there's the eternal residents of Vrindavan headed by Srimati Radharani, etc. So there's this description. And what the core reason that Krishna allows for all kinds of bona fide and unbona fide processes to unfold is because he gives independence to the living entity. The living entities are powerful. They're part and parcel of Krishna. And they also have minute independence. And Krishna respects that because we have, when we have independence, we have the opportunity to use that to say, I'm going to just love Krishna and I'm going to surrender to Krishna without any other considerations. And then when one takes to that process, even if one isn't completely pure, anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmanyanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. One becomes convinced that the process of devotional service is correct. He wants to surrender to Krishna. Then he cultivates shil internally and externally. However, Krishna allows for people to fall into whatever kind of philosophy or category that they desire to fall into. And he says, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sanivishto matak smitir ganam aponam cha. I'm the one that's giving them the intelligence how to do it. If you want to misuse your independence, Krishna will supply you this misguided intelligence. And if you want to use it properly, then he'll give you that. So the bottom, I said bottom line, the base reason for this is because Krishna wants a loving relationship with his eternal parts and parcels. That's the ultimate goal, the prayojan. And in order to create the stage for that to happen, there has to be independence. And living entities have to have unlimited variety of choices for them to then come to the exact choice that, no, I want to surrender unto Krishna. Even in the species of life in the material world, 8,400,000 species. So what if he only gave 3? You have your choice when you come to the material world. You can be an elephant, a giraffe, or a human. We might complain and say, Krishna, you know, I only got to be an elephant and a giraffe, and now I'm a human. What if there's some happiness in the bird being, I want to fly? So then Krishna gives tens of thousands of bird species. You try them all out. And then you come back and yeah, but what about if I had 4 legs? That's like, okay, there's all kind of quadrupeds. Yeah, but I want a tail and I want to jump. And okay, you be a monkey. There are many species of monkeys. You try 8,400,000. Now you come back. Krishna, I don't want any more. I just want to serve you. I want a tongue that can chant Hare Krishna. I don't want a monkey tongue that just goes, Rah! I don't want a bird tongue. I don't want a dog tongue that just, I want to be able to serve you. So when we get that determination, then Krishna fulfills that desire also. Thank you, Vaikuntha Nayaka. Good to see you there in Mysore.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Prabhu, I was just going to ask a question.
Okay.
So I was wondering that, we work so hard. I mean, I just think I work very hard, but why is it that Maya keeps putting different kinds of problems in front of you at different times? Physical problems is one set, but mind problems is another set, asking questions or, having doubts and things like that. Why can't the process be so much more simpler?
Well, these are impressions that we've taken into our minds over many lifetimes. And these impressions, they're called sanskars. And then because of my interaction with the modes of material nature in various ways, we can't even remember our last life. Actually, we can't even remember this life. You can't remember even last week what you were doing, what to speak of, when you were a child. 1975, I was shipped off to Chicago after being in the temple for a while in San Francisco. The first day I was on Sankirtan, somebody slugged me, and then we both got arrested. I won't go into the details, but then later on, I was applying for my global entry up in Niagara Falls in Canada, and then I was at the very end of the process. All my fingerprints, they took a picture of my iris, everything, and then they called me in a room and said, "Have you ever been arrested?" And I couldn't remember. I mean, I knew I'd been arrested many times for Sankirtan, but I just said probably. but I couldn't remember any specific thing. And then they said, you have to be more specific. And then Super Soul made me remember that first incident where I got slugged in Chicago. And I said, was it in Chicago? And they said, yeah, you got to clear it off your record. It was still on my record. I didn't do anything wrong, but somehow through this improper clerical work, the court case, which went against the other person, was still on my record, and I had to clear it with the Chicago Police Department. My point in giving this convoluted story is that I realized at that time, I couldn't remember what I did when I was 17. And, I didn't remember that incident until somebody brought it up. What to speak of a last lifetime, what to speak of 10,000 lifetimes ago. So your mind is like it's like a cloud, actually. It's like one of those clouds that takes on information. I'm not exactly sure how they work, but I know all of you do. And all these kinds of inputs come into the cloud and they stay in there. And then we get in this lifetime and, a little baby comes out. Everyone thinks, oh, it's starting over new. No, it's not. As it starts to grow up and the senses manifest, you'll notice that all the propensities, proclivities, they start to come out because they're recorded there in the cloud. So it takes some time to transform those samskars into bhakti samskars. We have samskars or impressions left on our mind because of our previous engagement in all kinds of ill-advised activities. And now that we have proper direction, we're replacing those with bhakti samskars, devotional samskars. The best of all of them is the chanting of the holy name. When you absorb yourself in the Mahamantra, it starts to transform your brain. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, Cheto Dharpana Marjana. So Cheto Dharpana Marjana means that surface, the chitta, the conscious, this subtle cloud that we carry around with us, it gets purified by the process of Sankirtana. And you can transform that. You can also, as Rupa Goswami describes, when you take to the process of bhakti, you start to undergo the process of kleshagni. Gni means to kill something, to diminish it. So klesha means the miseries. And these miseries are all caused by sinful activities. And that's the impressions that they leave. Shraddha, will you put up Bhagavatam 3:29-12?
Sure, Maharaj.
So Rupa Goswami quotes this 3:29-12 in making the case for the way in which we become purified by the process of taking to devotional service. And he says that this process of bhakti, in which there's no desire for liberation, it's without the desire for liberation, it takes a while to get there, doesn't it? I should just...
no, Maharaj, I'm just bringing it up. Actually, it's a compound verse, so I'm just bringing it up. Yeah.
Okay, let's... Yeah, this kind of, this verse, Madguna Shruti Matrena Mai Sarvagohashe Manogatira Vichina Yatha Gangam Basum Buddha Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Hidaritam Haituki Avyavahita Ya Bhakti Purushottame. And the translation is that the manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to the hearing of the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows toward the Supreme Lord. So this is starting with the end in mind. Now the mind is attracted to all kinds of material things. Well, some people's minds, probably not yours so much, but it's noticeable that because of previous connections and impressions on the mind, because of the contact with the modes of material nature, it gets attracted to various things. But by the process of devotional service, kleshagni, the mind will end up like this. See, Sukeshri? It ends up like this, so that the mind, it runs after the holy name. That's when you know you're starting to get spiritual health. And then Rupa Goswami quotes from 11:14-19. So
11:14-19.
11:14-19. This is the next verse he quotes, in which he says, Yatagni sus samriddharchi karoti dhamsi bhasmasad tata mad vishaya bhaktir udavaya namshi krishna shaha. My dear Uddhava, just as a blazing fire turns firewood into ashes, similarly devotional service unto me completely burns to ashes sins committed by my devotees. So the process of devotional service is like a big fire. So when you're in the fire of devotional service, you're burning up all the previous sins. And then, of course, he quotes from 3:33:6 from the Bhagavatam. And you know this verse, everybody knows it. Yanamadeha shravananu kirtanad yet pravanad yet smaranad api kuchit shwadhopi sadhya savaraya kalpate kutak punaste bhagavanu darshana. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face, even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. So Rupa Goswami, after that, quotes from the Padma Purana, and he says, this is aprarabdha palam papam, kutam bijam palom mukam, krame naiva praliyante vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. He describes how the reason we're suffering is because of these seeds of sinful desire and also their fructification. So he describes that there's 3 stages of sin due to our contact with the material nature. And one is kutam, which means that something's about to become a seed. It's in a very subtle form. It hasn't become a seed yet. And then there's the seed. And then there's the palonmukham, which means the fruit comes out. So everything we do in this world, every connection we have, it ends up somewhere. And it ends up with the fruit, prarabdha karma that we're suffering right now. And then there's aprarabdha karma, which means it's not even manifest yet. So all these things are in a chain that's very complicated. And if you're a gardener, you'll notice how seeds go here, there, and everywhere. You can't stop them. As soon as you put some soil out, then immediately all kinds of seeds just start showing up. Like I'm planting a lot of seeds right now, and I had to buy pristine soil that's a guaranteed that doesn't have any extra contamination in it. I have to be really careful about what I expose it to, because just leaving it out, all kinds of seeds get in there. And besides the seeds I'm deliberately planting, these other seeds will just pop up because they have an opportunity in a pristine environment to do so. So we're like that, we're like a field, pristine field, but then all these different seeds get in. So there's a lot of weeding and gardening to do. And how do you do it? Bhakti ratatmanam. If Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam, if you perform devotional service, says Rupa Goswami, then you start to kill off all these unwanted seeds, and you can cultivate bhakti in that way. He gives more and more explanation about how bhakti is the fire that destroys all the sinful activities, and our minds and the samskars within the chitta, or the consciousness, will become purified by the process of bhakti in due course of time. So you have to keep practicing.
Maharaj, can I ask a question here?
Yes.
So in Bhagavatam 3:33:6, where we are talking about that a person who is a Malecha, if he just recites the holy name even once, then he becomes eligible to perform the Vedic sacrifices. So I'm thinking like how when we go out on book distribution, we ask them to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. If you can elaborate a little bit on what does it mean when it says that they immediately become eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices? It's like,
Okay. I'll read you the purport because this is elaborately explained here. Here in the spiritual potency of chanting, hearing, or remembering the holy name of the Supreme Lord is greatly stressed. Rupa Goswami has discussed the sequence of sinful activities of the conditioned soul, and he has established in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that those who engage in devotional service become freed from the reactions of all sinful activities. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says that he takes charge of one who surrenders unto him, and he makes him immune to all reactions to sinful activities. If by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes so swiftly cleared of all reactions to sinful activities, then what is to be said of those persons who see him face to face? Another consideration here is that persons who are purified by the process of chanting and hearing become immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. Generally, only a person who is born in a family of Brahmanas, who has been reformed by the 10 kinds of purificatory processes, and who is learned in Vedic literature, is allowed to perform Vedic sacrifices. But here the word sadhya, immediately, is used, and Sridhar Swami also remarks that one can immediately become eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. A person born in a family of the low caste, which is accustomed to eat dogs, is so positioned due to his past sinful activities. But by chanting or hearing once in pureness, or in an offenseless manner, he is immediately relieved of the sinful reaction. Not only is he relieved of the sinful reaction, but he immediately achieves the result of all purificatory processes. Taking birth in the family of a Brahmana is certainly due to pious activities in one's past life, but still a child who is born in a family of a Brahmana depends for his further reformation upon initiation into acceptance of the sacred thread and many other reformatory processes. But a person who chants the holy name of the Lord, even if born in a family of Chandalas, dog eaters, does not need reformation. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, he immediately becomes purified and becomes as good as the most learned Brahmana. Sridhar Swami especially remarks in this connection, Anena pujatvam lakshyate. Some caste Brahmanas remark that by chanting Hare Krishna, purification begins. Of course, that depends on the individual process of chanting. But this remark of Sridhar Swami's is completely applicable if one chants the holy name of the Lord without offense, for he immediately becomes more than a Brahmana. As Sridhar Swami says, pujatvam, he immediately becomes as respectable as a most learned Brahmana and can be allowed to perform Vedic sacrifices. If simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one becomes sanctified instantly, then what can be said of those persons who see the Supreme Lord face to face and who understand the descent of the Lord as Devahuti understands Kapiladev? Usually, initiation depends on the bona fide spiritual master who directs the disciple. If he sees that a disciple has become competent and purified by the process of chanting, he offers the sacred thread to the disciple just so that he will be recognized as 100% equal with a Brahmana. This is also confirmed in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sri Sanatan Goswami. As a base metal, like bell metal can be changed into gold by a chemical process, any person can similarly be changed into a Brahmana by Diksha Vidhana, the initiation process. It is sometimes remarked that by the chanting process, one begins to purify himself and can take birth in his next life in a Brahmana family and then be reformed. But at this present moment, even those who are born in the best Brahmana families are not reformed, nor is there any certainty that they are actually born of Brahmana fathers. Formerly, the Garbhadan reformatory system was prevalent, but at the present moment, there is no such Garbhadhana or seed-giving ceremony. Under these circumstances, no one knows if a man is factually born of a Brahmana father. Whether one has acquired the qualification of a Brahman depends on the judgment of the bona fide spiritual master. He bestows upon the disciple the position of a Brahmana by his own judgment. When one is accepted as a Brahmana in the sacred thread ceremony under the Pancharatric system, then he is Dvija, twice born. That is confirmed by Sanatana Goswami. Dvijat Tvam Jayate. By the process of initiation by the spiritual master, a person is accepted as a Brahmana in his purified state of chanting the holy name of the Lord. He then makes further progress to become a qualified Vaishnava, which means that the Brahminical qualification is already acquired. So twice Prabhupada mentioned here that it depends on the quality of the chanting that is individually decided. Nonetheless, the evidence is clear, and that is if someone says Hare Krishna, then they get purified. And the example given in the Bhagavatam is of a Jamil, because Shukadeva Goswami told about the hellish planets, and Parikshit Maharaj, out of compassion, wanted to know how people would become freed from such suffering. And to reply to that, Shukadeva Goswami told the story of a Jamil. And we know in the story of a Jamil, of course, he started as a dutiful Brahmin, but then he fell down into really bad habits. But then he chanted the name of his son that just happened to be Narayan, and he became purified, even one chanting. Now, some people ask, how is it that he went on committing sinful activities after he chanted Narayan? Because he still was living a sinful life at that time. And Sridhar Swami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says his chanting was just like that of a snake with no teeth. It could be biting. It appears that it's biting in the same way. It appears that you're going on with a materialistic life, but actually the teeth are gone. And in course of time, that became apparent in the life of a Jamil, that he became purified by that once chanting of the name of his son. In helplessness, he called out. It was non-offensive. He wasn't calling to be freed from sins and so forth. So the quality of the chanting is important. And it's also noticeable here that the person who's chanting the holy name becomes qualified. It doesn't mean that you immediately put somebody in the position of a Brahmin on the altar, they'll start doing Vedic sacrifice right away. The idea is that the purification process has started, or not started, but this is semantics. This is what Jiva Goswami brings up in the Nectar of Devotion. He says that the purification process, some people say kramanaiva praliyate, it takes place step by step. And some people say, well, that step by step is just like this. If you take 1,000 lotus petals and then you thrust a long needle through them to make a garland. So technically you can say it's happening step by step, one petal after another. But to the naked eye, and for all intents and purposes, it goes through all at once. So kramanaiva, step by step, one becomes purified from all these sinful reactions. It's sadhya, it's happening immediately from the perspective of how long we've been in the material world. And it happens by the power of the holy name. So we can see practically that people chant Hare Krishna. Sometimes they wallow in the material nature for some time, but then the effect of that chanting will come to bear, and they'll be able to, by the power of the purification from the holy name, take to the process of devotional service.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I just have a question. Is that okay?
Yes, David. This will be our last question because I don't want to keep everybody all morning. I know you have places to go and people to meet, right?
My question is how does the spiritual master evaluate the advancement of the disciple?
Well, I could tell that Prabhupada, when he was personally evaluating his disciples, that he put a lot of weight on how dedicated they were to the process of devotional service. Like, let's just go back to Prabhupada. And he was aspiring for initiation from his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. He was at the time overwhelmed with his life situation because he was working and he had kids. And he expresses this in the example of when he went to join his spiritual master's yatra. And it was a 10-day yatra, but Prabhupada could only go there for a day. That's all the time he could spare. So he went and joined the end of the yatra. And then there was a choice at that time whether everyone would go to see Sheshishai Vishnu for the darshan or stay and listen to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in the tent, giving a class. And for some people, the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's classes were hard to listen to because he was an erudite scholar and he'd speak with very lofty language. So most people went off to see the deity. And then a few people stayed to listen to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And one of them was Abhaya, who was following Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And he sat there through the whole lecture. And later on, when Prabhupada was there in Ahmedabad, not Ahmedabad, in, where was the pharmacy? Sorry. In
Allahabad.
Allahabad. Yeah, in the Prayag pharmacy. So then he had been recommended by some of the local devotees. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, oh yes, I've marked him. He likes to hear. He listens and does not go away. So that's one instance. You see that the keen mind of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, noticing what's important and noticing how attentive he was to listen. Yeah, you'll notice that. If you're teaching someone, you'll notice how sincere they are to listen and they don't go away. So there are telltale signs that one sees to understand how qualified somebody is, that they're sincerely engaged in the process of devotional service and they do not go away. So it happens in individual cases, and the person who is him or herself tuned into devotional service with absolute conviction, and that's their only occupation in life, they become very much aware of other people's endeavors in devotional service as well. And they're able to see that very clearly. So therefore, a teacher should be fully absorbed, him or herself, in order to lead others and help to elevate them to higher levels. So this is how, and there's obviously, Krishna is there within the heart of every living being and is also giving recommendations from within as well.
Can I say one little thing that you know?
Hey, Vijay, look at you out there in Ojai. All right, go ahead.
Wonderful talk. Thank you. Prabhupada gives the example that the first class disciple, he does what the spiritual master wants without being told. Yes. And he said he had one disciple that was like that. That was, what was his name? His servant from Hawaii. What was his name? Shutikirti. The second class, he does it when the spiritual master, but very enthusiastically. Third class, he does it, but kind of begrudgingly. The fourth class, he just doesn't do it.
Yeah, so these are subtleties also. If somebody's tuned in to devotional service, you could see somebody who's a servitor, they're looking, anticipating what it is that the master is looking for, and is 3 steps ahead and trying to, and that's very noticeable. That's a tadvidi pranipatina priprashneya sevaya. If you're rendering first-class service to somebody, that person starts to notice it right away and then wants to open his or her heart and pour out the contents as much as possible. So that's an excellent point that Vijay Prabhu is making, that by the quality of one's service, the guru, the teacher notices that, yeah, this person is open. I know when I went to school, I I was just so used to attentively hearing. I noticed in the university, other people were not. They'd put their feet up, they'd, be looking out the window or whatever. But I was just trained like that. So when I got into it, and I'd sit in the front row and I like totally listen, and it startled the teachers, because they'd look at me and go like, why are you listening to me so carefully? Nobody else does. And I saw that you didn't even have to be smart. You just had to be there. And if you showed up and listened very carefully, then teachers became naturally inclined, and they would really pour out their knowledge as much as possible. So there's an art to service through which you can get all the secrets of the master in any realm. What to speak of in the realm of devotional service? It's palpable, it's noticeable. Okay, any last points?
There are a few on Facebook.
Okay.
So this one is from Shringar Rasa Mataji, and she's commenting on the first verse that you read in the various kinds of philosophies. So she's saying that I was relating your talk with the current situation of coronavirus. There are so many theories floating in the scientific community, but most of them are a way for the atheistic people to deny the presence of a controller of the universe.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There are a couple more.
Yeah, and people also become frustrated too. I notice people gravitate toward all kinds of ideas about why this pandemic is happening, what's causing it, who's doing it, and so forth. It's a good point that Sringara Ras is making, that it also in that realm you can notice lots of speculation and lots of confusion and anger, who's doing what and when and how and so forth. Yes, Shraddha, another one?
There's a question that you have time.
Okay.
This is from Ajay Nitai Das Prabhu. He says, how does a Vaishnava become a Vaishnava's dog in Kali Yuga, as mentioned by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, when at the same time Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati criticized one who simply engages in temple worship, but does not see to the interests of the mass of people or cannot recognize devotees, is called a Kanishta Adhikari?
I couldn't quite understand the parallel between those 2 points.
Yeah, maybe.
You become a dog of a Vaishnava, it means that you recognize that the Vaishnava is the best, well, is actually loved by Krishna. And then you give yourself to that person. Well, observe a dog. Just look what a dog does. Why do you think people like dogs so much? They, when the master is away for 36 days and the master comes home, the dog gets all enlivened and comes running and just goes nuts. Not that we have to go nuts, but that kind of attentiveness, that simple attentiveness that, and dogs too, once they have a master, they won't go away. The master can say, get out of here. Master can say, I'm not feeding you, but the dog still won't leave. And so this doggedness, and that's actually a phrase, to be doggedly attached to something. Where does that come from? It comes from the dog. So we can learn a lot from a dog. We can see how dogs become devoted to their master, and master can kill the dog and the dog will just say like, hey, whatever you want to do. So there's that mood there that we can emulate in the dog. Now we're going to have the Guru Puja. Namasheshtam manamapi shachiputra matra sarupam Shri Rupam Tasya Grajam Uruparim Matarim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramoho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi He Guru Gyanada Dinabando Swananda Data Koronai Kasindo Vrindavana Sinahitavatar Rasida Radha Pranaya Prashara. Hey Dinabando Karanaika Sindo Kuru Prasadam Mai Mandamudhe Laksha Paradhe Bahupapa Gadhe Tatpada Padne Stu Matishta Krishne. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Shachi Mata, the association of Srila Sarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami and his older brother Sanatana Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radhakund and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for loving service of Shri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us a shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Shraddha, after this, I may want to sing Kali Kukur, just in case you have it available.
Okay.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kivalabha Kati Sadma. We have harmony? Yeah, there we go. Bando Mui Sabradana Mate Do Mui Sabradana Mate Jahara Prashade Pa Epato Riya Krishna Prabhu Hoy Jahote Krishna Prabhu prasade pure sarva asha. He prasade pure sarva asha. Chakudan diloche jame jame prabhu she.
खुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से
Yajnanere prakashita
दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते विदे गाय जहर चरित Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Aha Prabhu Kora Deho More Pada Chaya Vejas Kushukri Bhuvana Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada.
Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine
Namo Vishnu Padaya
Krishna
Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtatari Shatarine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine
Prabhu Nityananda
Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Nityananda
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Bhakta Vrinda.
Jadi chao
Pavana Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Boya Nashana Sri Sachinandana Gao He.
Can you mute yourself, please, Prabhu?
Change the slide, please. Dharmadan Nikaya Pranadan Advaita Prabhujita Gora Advaita Prabhujita Gora Nimani Vishwambar Shivas Ishwar Bhakta Samvajita Chora Adiya Shashadar Maya Purishwar Nam Pravartana Shura
Adiya Shashadar Maya Purishwar Nam Pravartana Shura
Vihijana Shikshaka Yasikula Nayaka Madhava Radha Baba Pura Vihijana Shikshaka Yasikula Nayaka Madhava Radha Baba Sarvabhuma Shodhana Gajapati Dharana Ramananda Bhushana Veera. Everybody Sarvabhuma Shodhana Gajapati Dharana Ramananda Bhushana Veera. Pananda Vardana Sanatana Pavana Haridas Bodhana Dida
Haridasa Rajarasa Bhavana Dustamatasthatana Kapati Vighana Kama
Bhakta Palana Shiksha Jnana Dharana Chala Bhakti Bhushana Rama
Shuddha Bhakta Palana Shushka Jana Tadana Chala Bhakti Rashana Rama
Kali Kukurka Jadi Chao Hey everybody
Kali Kukurka Jadi Chao Hey
Kali Juga Pavana Kali Puri Nashana Shisha Chinandana Gao Hey
Kali Yuga Pavan Kali Bhaya Nashana Shri Sachinandana Gao
Hey.
Yaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Shri Madhusudan Hari Hari Govinda
Shraddha, I think everybody knows this. It's better to see the pictures of all the devotees. So you just take this one down. I think everybody needs to see each other.
There we go.
There you go. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath.
Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Vanda.
Taradas.
Kandana Charana Sani Bhakta Sanivas. Janme janam mein hoye abhilash. Jai Gosai Tavi Braja Kulavas. Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kohila Prakash. Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kohila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Vaishnava Pade Majiyama. Shri Guru Pad Padmuriyas. Hari Naam Sankirtan Kohe Narottam Das.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Ram.
Bhajane
Govinda
Govinda Gopala Hare. Bhajare
Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Gopala.
Kishor Kishori,
Radha Bank Bihari, Kishor Kishori, Rukmini Dwarkadish,
Anavika Bihari,
Radha.
Bhajare
Govinda Gopala Hare. Jai Shri Bhagavan ko mera baar baar pranam hai. ऐसे श्री भगवान श्याम को मेरे बारंबार प्रणाम है.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Now we have our morning announcements. SKP. First of all, we're going to judge the dancing. So I say at Vaikuntha Nayaka's house, we had the best dancers today.
Haribo!
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 Haribo! His house that was doing pretty good there. A little assistance. Very good dancing today. Nitai Kripa, definitely going for it. Prema Kishori, good work, everybody. And now we have announcements. Malini or SKP is going to tell us what our book distribution. We just did huge last weekend, but we need to bust out even bigger this weekend to show the world the way to do this during the pandemic. So we're pulling out all the stops. And Malini or SKP, are you going to announce?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Prabhu, so we actually have a meeting this afternoon.
No cartels.
Sorry, Prabhu. I think it's me. Let me go to another place because Srivas is doing the class. Sorry.
Oh, Srivas can do. That's all right.
Sorry, Prabhu. We are actually going to try to see if we can contact every single contact that we collected. We are going to see if we can reach out to them and ask for references. I spoke to Gopal Champu Prabhu and Mahotsava Prabhu over the week, and I took down some notes on how they are actually reaching out to everybody around the world. And what they said, they have only one principle which says anything that moves, ATM. And they're calling people who they met on the street who got one book, either a Bhagavad Gita or Krishna book or something, and they're calling them and asking how are they doing. And they're asking, would you be interested to take a set of books, either a Saptarishi or a Chaitanya Charitamrita or a Bhagavatam? So they are doing like that. And we want to try because we also have a lot of contacts, and we also have contacts who took Srimad Bhagavatam. And after they say that whether they're interested or not interested, they're asking, do you think you know any neighbors or friends or somebody who would be interested? And they're collecting phone numbers and they're reaching out to everybody. And they said that initially it is a little odd because it's same as what you do on the street, but it's just that you don't see the person you don't see them in person. So it might be a little odd or awkward in the beginning, but if you keep doing it, then you'll get a hang of it. So we want to try that today.
Fantastic. And for those of you who are doing it already, started making the phone calls, maybe you can relate some of the your tips. What worked, what parts seemed a little bit difficult, and just some personal experience will help us. Who can report in and say what's working for you all?
I know Dhira Prashanta Prabhu reached out to a couple of his cousins. Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, so I mean, I know that, like some of the cousins that I reached out, they had some kind of devotional connection, but I think this whole, Corona thing, right, make them think about, that perspective that, hey, we need to get, devotional aspect into your life more than ever. And then the fact that the whole world is, in this turmoil, right, they think that, hey, there is something bigger, that is driving this and there is a purpose for this. So I thought, they were able to connect, like, philosophically, given the fact that what is going on in the across the world, right? So that's one thing that they were able to connect. And then the fact that, you leaders quote, right? We are here to spread our, Vedic literature, so that it's not lost, in this, worldly affairs. So like couple of these, spiritual points, they were able to connect. And the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, what's going on in the world, they think more than ever it's a need for everybody to get into this, devotional service aspect.
Thank you, dear Prashanta Prabhu. Now, everybody I know in an Indian family has at least 52 cousins. So if we have 250 Sankirtan devotees at ISV times 52, that's going to be a big weekend. A lot of calling. Another thought I had is, the lines that Gopal Champa Prabhu did on a video for the Saptarishi, and he said about each book. Do we have those written down?
I have the video, Prabhu, but we could write it down.
We should get that transcribed, and it'll help the devotees if they have a transcript and a script in front of them for calling. So there's generally companies that do sales by phone. They give every one of their salespeople a script, and you just follow it. And what we need to do as we're doing this is collect any of the objections and how you overcome them, so that adds to the script, and everyone will have a little playbook in front of them. So if somebody says this is how you overcome it, these are the main lines that really work, and these are the ways to orient. And so then everyone will have confidence in calling, and we can call more and more. Okay, what else, Malini?
Prabhu, we have Kripali Mataji, who was also distributing books. She distributed to a couple of devotees or friends. And if she can say something, I saw her somewhere on the...
She was dancing. I saw her dance. Kripali Mataji, I have unmuted you. Please go ahead.
Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Mataji. So I gave it to my cousin and my auntie here who live with me.
What did you tell them?
So Maharaj, I got first job, so I just tell that this is blessings. As a blessing, please take it from my side.
And did you ask them for some donation?
No, I did. I sponsored them for.
You sponsored them, said just take it as a gift.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for sharing. And we like your backdrop very much. Who asked for donations and what did you say on the last round that we did last weekend? We collected over $3,000, so somebody was asking.
Dandavat Pranams Guru Maharaja. This is Pranagopika Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. So my target is mainly on my Telugu students. So like I am focusing more on the families who have kids. So I talked with them about some of them. They wanted to like donate just like that for donation. They want to give the donation to our temple. So then I told them about Bhagavatam, but they are saying like they have already the Telugu one, but still I insisted them to like you know Telugu, but your kids won't be reading Telugu, right? So even my kids also know Telugu, but still we have English. So it is a lifetime like investment. So if you take English, then whole family can sit together and can read. So I told them like that. And about the Krishna book also, and Krishna book, Ramayana, and the Bhagavatam. My focus is more on these books only, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
I asked them donations also without, because our main thing is like preaching, like giving them about this spiritual knowledge, and also some kind of fundraising for our temple also. So I am talking them about the books. After that, I'm saying it's just $5 or $10, just like that. I'm saying about talking about mentioned about donation also, donation part also.
Thank you very much.
Guru Maharaj, I have a question in this contacting cousins that everybody is doing, which I think might be a common issue for everyone, is that they are not really interested in our way of life. So what happens is that I end up having to do a lot of Gramya Katha by the time I get to my Bhagavatam. And when I talk my Bhagavatam, it sounds like Gramya Katha to them, as Gramya Katha is to me, Bhagavatam is to them. After 5-10 minutes, they're overwhelmed. They want to find out, Acha, what happened to that cousin? And it's a real struggle. I don't know why I'm wasting my time on all this. Sometimes
it's not a waste of time. What it does is it makes you wish that you never have another life with lots of cousins in it. So what I recommend is when you call people that you know already that are family and that want to be all familiar with you, is the first thing you tell them is that this is why I'm calling, that I've been challenged today to do a certain number of Bhagavatam sets and I need you to help me out. So when you tell family members that you take this, it's for you, they won't take to it very well. But if you tell them that I know you already know this and but just do this to help me out. And tell them first thing, don't get into chit-chatting at first. You can do that afterwards, but say, I'm on a marathon today. I'm trying to call 400 people. And I just have 5 minutes on each thing, and I need help. I need your help. And I'm trying to distribute at least this number of books. Could you sponsor or something, or could you recommend somebody who could sponsor, and just cut to the chase right away? And it's much easier than it's calling up, say, hey, how are you doing? You guys okay? and then blah, blah, blah. And 2 hours later, you know, you're going to be exhausted. And then if you ask them second, they're going to think when they hang up, she only called to sell a set of Bhagavatams. And the chit chat didn't mean anything. So never start with chit chat. Start with, this is my business. This is why I'm calling. And afterwards, you can throw in a little chit chat, but say, I got to go because I have to call 399 more people.
We'll do that. Yes.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
I did. I consulted my friends and I did 2 Bhagavatam sets last week, Maharaj. And I, before your script, I made my own script. Sorry, Maharaj. When I went with Malini Mataji a couple of times, she started with I'm volunteer for ISKCON. So in that way, I started my message. I'm doing voluntary work, voluntary thing for ISKCON book distribution team. And then I asked them about Vedas and please, we are protecting the Vedas. So every Indian should have like this maybe. And then I said that these donations will go to print more books and go to prison houses and hospitals. I wrote like that, and 2 friends accepted, and one said they'll come back to me.
Excellent.
And then I used your script, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Good work. I'm really impressed.
Oh, I just
All right. Any last advice that's unique that can help? Yes.
I just wanted to mention that we will be putting this in writing and sending it out, but anybody who have kids who have already taken a Srimad Bhagavatam, they can take free classes with Bhagavad Seva, because the purpose of Bhagavad Seva classes is to distribute books. So maybe if that is going to help them purchase the book, that would be a big, I mean, it'll be amazing. And, you know, our endeavor.
This is actually the most important thing. Call up with an invitation to various classes like the Bhagavat Seva and whatever else we have to offer right now. So call ahead of time and just say, we're inviting you to these things. And also we have the books as well. They all go together. I think it's a very good point to package it together. Malini, anything else?
Prabhu, we are requesting everyone to join the 2 p.m. meeting this afternoon to discuss more things on this topic.
Okay. And that'll include some indication about ebooks and things like that, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
We're making a lot of progress on getting the ebooks ready. Malini has been tirelessly calling and interacting, and SKP also, with all of the trustees of the BBT, and they've been very forthcoming. They've been working on ebooks for a long time, but they've been waiting. They said the other day when we met with them on an early morning call that we were pouring nectar into their ears, because although they've been working tirelessly on ebooks and getting them in place, nobody's been marketing them. And so this is a very welcome thing that we're setting that, and nobody else is doing it anywhere. Although I know that the Yuga Dharma Ashram is doing books, so much so, they're so smart. They called Uline and they got custom made boxes just so they could fit their Shaptarishis. They're pulling out all the stops and going for it. And I'm not sure if they've done many ebooks yet. So we really have to set the example to get the ebooks going out as fast as possible so that the world can take advantage of it.
Prabhu, I have one more question. I was just wondering that when
Move your camera down a little bit. We see the top of your head.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's better.
So Prabhu, I was just thinking that, and I will discuss with SKB Prabhu and Malini as well. The ebooks I know was $60. I was just wondering, Prabhu had talked to me, Balamukunda Prabhu, if we can just do it as $250 ebooks. And so we will, that time we can actually package, as you mentioned, with the Bhagavad Seva classes for 10 months.
Doing that.
Yeah.
That's being, the price, we already worked on that. It's being adjusted. Right, Malini?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah, we worked on the prices so that they're not all over the place. We're going to get them all at the same rates.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 o'clock meeting, you'll send out the invitation. Kids,
Yes,
Sankirtan, the kids calling? Anybody dialing for dollars? Who's on the kids team? Any of the kids tried yet? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Narad, this is Kameshwari Dandal Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Kameshwari.
So we haven't, discussed with the kids that they can call their friends But Advait is helping me. We can actually formally actually send out a message and discuss with them that they could also reach out to their friends, as you just now brought it up. But in general, I just wanted to share that when I'm calling to my contacts that I tried so far, so far there is not anything to share that somebody took it. But because you asked about kids, I just wanted to make sure, bring up that Advait is helping me so make some video, because some of the calls that I made, I was not able to, I thought that I was not able to show the books. And I forwarded some videos to them about our Gomatsya and Bhagavatam. But I thought that I'll make a video for them specifically showing my books and share with them. So Advait is helping with making that, and hopefully I'll be able to share to a couple of contacts.
I think this is a good idea, Kameshri, that one of the techniques that could be shaping up is that don't call first to ask for the sale, but call first just to give something. Like say, we have some videos for you, and I want to share with you during this time. You can watch these videos. It helps to raise the consciousness. And then also, and once you share some stuff and you see if there's any interest in that, then you can segue into the books as a secondary thing. That's a nice way to try that. I like that a lot. The Hare Krishna video, the Prabhupada video is free for the next couple of days. So that might be something, a promotional. So there's a major motion picture, and there's a way to watch it for free for the next couple of days. So that could be a lead in also.
Okay, thank you.
Good work. And
Prabhu, there is also there is a series of lectures that His Grace Radhesham Prabhu is giving on the entire Bhagavad Gita. He's doing one chapter each day, and it's just a summary of the entire chapter, and it's 1.5 hour class for each chapter, and they're all on YouTube. They're uploaded on YouTube. So I heard a lot of those classes, and he actually uses a lot of visual aids to explain the concepts very nicely. So that could be also.
So we could take those and share those with people. And also remember, whatever day we're calling is a special day. It's a special occasion. It's not just any time, and it's not just coronavirus time. It's today is a special day. Or this next 3 days is a special time. Always give a time limitation on and why it's special right now. Okay. All right, Alex.
This is Bhakti Alex.
Hi, Krishna Bhakti Alex.
Hello. I'm actually at the post office right now, mailing them out. I've collected a large number of backlists alphabetically, and just, whether I know them very well and not so well, just pitching, we're doing a book campaign, and we're trying to get as many of these special books out as possible, and people leave a donation to help cover the printing and shipping costs. They kind of feel a little sense of the urge to help out, and then, explaining it that it helps you be the best version of yourself and get free from stress. I found people are extremely open. And yeah, we've been sending them out almost every day.
Oh, this is
Got
great.
some ones coming out here right now.
Look at that. See, books going out. Way to go, Bhakti Alex. Bhakti Alex, if you could make just a simple little video telling anything.
Oh, in America.
We can barely hear you. We can get the gist of it. But if you could take the time to make a 3 to 5 minute video and tell us everything you're doing, who you're calling, what you're saying, and send it back, it would be a boon to all of the devotees in the world.
Sure, definitely will.
Camera on you and divulge everything you're doing, show any techniques. Right now, any little idea that can give everyone a boost will be huge for book distribution and bring the spirits up.
Okay.
There's one thing I would like to share, what Jamuna is doing in Monterey. She distributed about 100 Bhagavad Gitas and she's putting them in the boxes of prasad that she's distributing. And I shared a lot of pictures on the Weekend Warriors as well. And she said that she needs more books, about 100 Bhagavad Gitas, Higher Taste, 100 Higher Taste, and other books as well. So we are going to deliver that to her this weekend.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so I need pictures because I'm going to be doing a report to the GBC in the next couple of days. So Alex, if you have pictures of the books going out through the post office, if we have these pictures from Jamuna and any other ones we have, let's put them in a repository so I can shrink them down and send them as a package, okay?
Can you hear me now, Raj? Can you hear me now?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. I was saying I've amassed a large contact list since like high school and stuff around, and so I've just been going alphabetically and calling everybody who I somewhat know, and just pitching it. And even if I haven't spoken to them or I didn't know them that well, they really are appreciating the idea of a book drive in these times, and especially something that helps people get free from stress and go internal when they're externally limited.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so you're on the ATM method.
Exactly. Yes. Anything that moves.
Okay. Right. Fantastic. Thank you, Alex. You gave us a big boost right from in the post office. Please take good care of yourself. Wow, great. Okay, Malini, any last points?
We have to keep calling, Prabhu. That's all.
Okay. Keep calling, keep the phone ringing. Don't worry if people say yes or no. Right now, we're just trying to investigate and discover ways to make it work so that we're failing forward fast. The more mistakes you make, the better. And just record when you make a breakthrough what something works. So don't worry about success means trying and just pushing forward as fast and hard as possible, okay? I'd like to acknowledge Shraddha for doing so much hard work. She stays up late at night, getting these broadcasts ready, making sure they're on time, making sure the pictures for the broadcasts are well done and everything. So let's give her a round. Now, Avantika is going to announce all the cooks. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Go ahead, Avantika. You're on mute, I think.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today's prasadam was cooked by Bhaktivatsal Prabhu, Hansapriya Mataji, Manjula Kanta Mataji, Krishangi Gopi Mataji, Siddhagata Prabhu, Savarna Gopika Mataji, Hema Mataji, Mukta Mataji, Radhavala Prabhu, Ananda Mataji, and Ujjwala Rasa Mataji.
What about the kids?
Nirkula.
Akshay.
I can attest to that. Okay.
So Maharaj,
yes, Shraddha?
I was going to say that there is one comment on Facebook.
Yes.
So it's a reflection, which I think is a sentiment expressed by all of us here. So it's from Bhumi Devi Dasi.
Yes.
And she's saying that I so needed to be hearing Srimad Vaisesika Prabhu this morning. So thank you for making this morning wonderful for us, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you very much, everybody. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Prashado 1. Share Dad Radha Krishna Shri Chaitanya Nitai Premidako
Shri Chaitanya Mayam Jai Mei Srimad Bhagavatam
Jai.
Nectar verses. Bardhabhiram Datavaravapukarnayo Karnikaram Vibradvasa
Kakadisam
Vaijayam
Vijayam
Randram
Drameo Gopavinde Naranyam Swaram Gita Kirti
Tavakatamritam Shravanamangalam Srimaratatam Bhuvi Granantiye Bhuridajana Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Kala Pato Jani Bardita Shadbhakta Valayam Sachakra Madhupa Shreni Viharaspadam Karnananikalodvani Vahatu Me Jiva Maru Prangane Shri Chaitanya Dayani Vedavalasal Vivasuda Swaduni. I'm going a little lower. Helom Dunika Kedaya Vishadaya Pranila Damodaya Shamyat Shastra Vivadaya Rasadaya Jita Pito Madaya Shashvad Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maya Daya Shri Chaitanya Daya Nidetavadaya Bhuyara Mandoda. One more time. Shri Chaitanya Daya Nidetavadaya Bhuyara Mando Da. Go pray, Manande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Nitai Goda Hari Bo. Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari
Bol.
Bol Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Please come take prashadam. Hari Bo.
Hari Bol.
Okay, do big, everybody.
सर्वस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Vaisesika Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Dandot pranams, Guru Mataji. Dandot pranams.
Thank you, Shraddha Ma.
Mataji.
Thank you,
And
Haribol.
thank you all for coming and We need to thank Madhav Prem Prabhu and his wife Padma Kumari Mataji. They do all the mining on the Facebook and keep sending things out.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And Shamlangi Mataji for watching the chat over here and for helping me with the PowerPoints last night.
Sudhir Madhav, can we see you? No.
Sudhir Madhav is here.
Yeah, he was there on the call.
Yes, I could see him. Yeah, hold on, Sudhir. Say something.
आ गया बोलो
Hari Bol.
I got transported to ISV. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare, nice to see you.
My pleasure to have you, Darshan. I really got transported magically. 10%.
Where are you these days, Prabhu?
Krishnas are very powerful. Somehow, because of the situation, as I mentioned, I'm in Mayapur because of the lockdown.
You are in Mayapur?
Yes.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Good place to be.
Good place to get locked down forever. You are eternally locked down.
Please keep in your prayers and blessings. I really miss your association, and thank you for remembering me and having me.
Dasa, I love your backdrop.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Haribol.
Yeah, devotees, should we call it a day? It's 10:41 and we all have to go and make phone calls, right?
Haribol.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Shatama.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Dabrat.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hari Hari Bol.